Insightful insights from years of operating a training business. Mr. Jeremy Lee is the CEO and co-founder of Edson, with more than 2 decades of experience in leadership development, customer experience, organizational capability building, and performance improvement. He helps organizations strengthen people capability and navigate change in an increasingly AI-driven and sustainability-conscious business environment. Our next speaker, Mr. Jeremy Lee. You have 20 minutes, and after your 15 minutes, there will be a small gap for Q&A.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Everyone, welcome. Before I start, I'd just like to ask you a very quick question. Okay, three options here. First option, are you purely a trainer?
Yes.
Second option, are you a trainer and a TP? Okay, right? Are you a trainer and a TP, or are you here purely as a TP? Okay. So first question, how many of you are a trainer? Only a trainer. You don't do anything else. Okay, right? How many of you are a trainer and a TP? A lot, huh? How many of you are purely TPs? Okay, trainers, you know who to look out for. Huh? Okay, just giving you a little bit of a hint of who is in the room. Now, my name is Jeremy. I've been in the training industry since 2003. I founded the company Edson, and everything, I've been sitting in the whole entire morning, and everything the three speakers before me, okay, three giants in the speakers in the industry before me have mentioned, I bet you, in my head, I was going tick. This was done right. No, that was done wrong. This was done right. That was done wrong. Okay. A little bit about my background. Very simple thing about my background. Huh? Okay. Quick little thing. I started Edson together with a few people in 2003. Sorry. And what happened was that there are things that we did that were fantastic. Dr. Palan said, "Don't start a restaurant." We started a restaurant when we had money. Okay. We started a restaurant. Not only that, okay, we saw digital learning coming. We went full out meaning we started a whole production company. We actually did movies. That was how extreme we went, okay? Cut the story short, we made money, we also lost lots of money, okay? I even had a college, right? So when Dr. Palu was talking about a college, we had a college, I had a college, I was full owner of a college, we bought over a college, and guess what? In 2019, big split with my partner, and end of the day, long story short, I have Edson, he took the college. So, there's a lot of things over the last 20 odd years that I've learned in the training industry. It is very lucrative if you know what you're doing. Okay? It's also very, very painful if you do not know what you're doing. So what I'm going to do is just share 8 very simple things that I've learned over the many, many years of doing this business. Okay? Now, my background, for those of you who do not know, I am an accountant. So what chartered accountant, and good that Mano came up to me this morning and said, "Oh, you're an accountant as well." Yes, I'm a chartered accountant, but I also went into the training industry very early on in my life. Something that I did, okay, I was actually a training manager for a listed entity. Right? How did an accountant go there? Very simple, put in a position, did what I needed to do, and started figuring out that I actually had a passion for training. I like to develop people. Right? I like to develop people. I like the aha moment when everyone goes, "Oh, I get this now." I feel very good as a person who helped them get there. So this is my passion. Right? My passion, is it money? Well, yes, of course, everyone needs to earn a living. But the key thing here is my passion is really people development, long term. So, when Alan was talking about listing, this is something that we have explored, right? My partners have explored this very, very early on. Because why? At one time, we actually had the learning organization. Edson, we were making lots of money. We were looking at production, which was up and down, right? And later on, we also had the college. So we had this vehicle. But what I'm saying is, over 20 odd years of doing this, there will always be ups and downs in the market. And in this particular market, things change very fast. I told someone earlier this morning, when I first started out in 2003, nobody cared about HRD Corp. Why? Even at our peak, 2028, 2010, HRD Corp made less than 10% of my revenue. Everything changed in 2020 when the whole entire act changed and everything went to HRD Corp. Okay? And as I see Stu Fu down there going, yeah, HRD Corp came out 6,500 max. Remember that, right? I was shocked. None of our trading days was 6,500. Everything was above. The moment they put that cap, all the people came back to us and go, can you please lower down your fees? And we were trapped. Should we maintain where we were or follow where the market was? So for the next few years, we actually had to go below what we were charging them for many, many years. It was actually a hit. So this market goes up and down, right? And this market is one of the most dynamic in the industry. And you have over 7,000 training providers. You've got over 60 to 70,000 trainers out there, right? Essence is a TTP provider, so we do that, right? And we are just building. And I must tell you, over the years, I've had a lot of people, let's put it this way. I remember when I first met Glenn not too long ago. Glenn here. Glenn came up to me and said, hey, Jeremy, thank you very much. And I was like, well, thank you for what? He said, you train so many trainers in the market. You train so many trainers in the market, and he's always saying, hey, a lot of my trainers that I train over the years are actually very good at what they do. And I can bet you, I can name 10 different companies whose founders are in the same industry I'm in now, competing together with me. And with you as well, right? So this industry is very dynamic, right? And so these are the 8 different things I've learned over the last 20 odd years. Just sharing, okay? So please note, as Dr. Palan has mentioned, move to transformation. Don't sell hours, sell transformation. Now, first thing first, very simple. I think all of you know this, right? Donald Kirkpatrick, 4 levels. Some will say 5, there should be 5, doesn't matter, 4 or 5. What I'm always saying is, sell capability shift. Don't just sell workshop. It's not a 2 days workshop. It is more than what the workshop is. What happened before the workshop, what happened during the workshop, and more importantly, what happened after the workshop. Because our clients are not interested in the training. If they are, you're probably working with the wrong client. The client are interested, what can my people do after the training and what kind of results can they get? So don't just sell workshops, okay? Second thing, own your own framework. And I love it when Dr. Palan was saying, we need to have our own IP of some sort. Now, I always say this, have I got my IP certified in previous years? Yes. But after a while, I felt that yes, if it's just purely on paper, no point, unless you want to become Stephen Covey and sue everyone for using the book, right? Every time you use the title, he will go after you. Don't do that. What I'm trying to say here is, if you can, IP your whatever intellectual right that you have, it's good. If you cannot, at least get your team to follow some kind of format. Right? I have format till KFAM, I've got format called Peak. These are for my team to follow. It's in all our proposals, and we also do something called Execute, which I'm doing at the moment with the team building up to execute. Okay? So these are something that we need to do. As I said, don't just go training. What do we need to do more of? Think outcomes. The other thing is have your own framework. Okay? Make sure even your external trainers follow some sort of framework. Right? Now, other things. Lots and lots of people have a trainer database, preferably by industry or by some sort of specialization. Let me just tell you a little bit of a story here. Many, many years ago, right, there was this very, very capable HR trainer. This trainer's main focus was just HR, Employment Act. Okay? Employment relationship. Main thing. In her profile, she was very good at what she does, but only for manufacturing.
I made the mistake. I let her train a service organization. The result was horrendous. What she could replicate in a manufacturing environment, she could not replicate in a service industry. Horrible. I did not know how bad it was till the HR manager called me up and asked me, Jeremy, why do you send this person here? I'm like, she has got a lot of experience with HR, blah, 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 she's this, she's that, everything. But then she said, no, the person cannot do service. Because whatever she's talking about, we in the service industry don't do that. So please, have a big trainer bench by people in the industry. This is especially for those in the TP. Do not rely on one trainer to do everything under the sun. And for me today, right, I mean, I enjoy training, so in and out, I still do about 80 to 120 days of training in a year. I've been looking at my thing for the past 20 odd years. But one of the things I always tell my team to do as a TP, and something I do write proposals, okay? I still own a few clients that I write proposals for, and I'll ask for new trainers out there, to work with us. And I always look at this. I do not like jack of all trades. So as a trainer, do not say you can do everything. If you are in some of the trainer groups I'm in, like example, trainer groups, Malaysian Association of Coaches is a WhatsApp. There are certain people in that group I don't even bother asking, even though they keep asking me, hey Jeremy, call me, because I know these people market themselves as jack of all trades. Everything also boleh buat. Bila boleh buat semua, I will not call you. I myself, okay, I'm a chartered accountant, but I hardly do finance for non-finance. I target myself more as a leadership trainer. Why? People who know me know I've got various certifications in conducting leadership programs. But that also has its problems, which comes to the next one. Okay? I'm a John Maxwell certified trainer. I'm also a Brian Tracy certified trainer. I'm also have a lot of certs from other executive programs I've gone through. But guess what? Whenever I tell clients about this, many of them will go, John Maxwell, very American. It's true. So don't think all these certs actually plays a role. I'm a professional coach. Oh, why need a professional coach? Huh? So one of the key things we need to understand is that the Malaysian market functions very differently from a lot of other markets. Okay? End of the day, a lot of time, if you know your client well enough, what they really want is, can you deliver what you need to deliver in the room, and can my people get the best of the best from you? So again, what I want to say is this: look at the outcome. Don't price the day rate. Okay? Do not price the day rate, it's the outcome. This is the only way we are going to get higher revenue. Because all of us in here, let's be very frank, we've got only like how many days in a year can you do? If you can hit 200 days, a lot already, right? Can die one, no. I always say, you hit 200 days, can mati one, can die one, right? Even with 120 days, you are struggling because you need time to refresh yourself, to figure out what needs to be done, next workshop. And with AI, a lot of new things coming in. Okay? So we need to relearn ourselves. So please, price on the outcome as much as you can. Next thing, and I'm just going to be very frank, what happens after the training is over? And this is more for those of us who are TPs, we are talking about client management. What happens after the training? Or the training happened, fantastic job, they gave us 4.9, 4.8, fantastic, they are raving about this, right? The participant walked out saying, I learned a lot, and nothing happened for the next 10 days. From the training provider, from your sales people who are there, because everyone just goes, habis already ma, bought already ma, done already ma, can collect money already ma. You get me? You want to get the bigger ones, and this is something that I would always advocate, okay? You need to work long term. You may have one trainer going in, two trainers going into a company, figure out how you can tie these things together, especially if it's for a group of people. I have done 2-year program, same group of people, 2 years program. Because why? There are multiple things happening over and over again, right? They are engaged in many ways, and we are looking for outcomes. Okay? A very simple thing, and I think this is something that is very critical. For those of you who are TPs, please work with each other, work with other TPs. I'm always willing to work with other TPs in areas that we are not strong in, because only by working together can we grow. There are 7,000 training providers. You are not going to cover the market. And I like what Alan was saying. Even a listed entity barely gets 1% of the whole entire market. This shows how fragmented the whole market is. Right? It's how fragmented the whole market is. There are 7,000. Don't fight. There is more than enough out there in the market. The key thing is, how do we work together? And one of the things someone suggested to me, and I not mentioned this to the Medpol group. No, we have talked about this actually. We have talked about this. Someone came up to me and asked me, Jeremy, why can't we collaborate on a public workshop? You know, you are a TP, I'm a TP, why can't we have 2 companies go in, jointly collaborate on a public workshop? We can get the numbers in, rather than every time you run a public workshop, there are 10 people here, and I've got 10 people, and we are running opposite side of the room, the same program. You know what I mean? Something to think about, and something we'll start pushing. Work together. Last but not least, my number 10, okay? Strategic diffusion. What do I mean by strategic diffusion? And I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning. Alright? I'm not sure how Alan does it, but whatever I saw from Alan's slide, it's all very aligned. Don't do what I did. Don't go and start a restaurant, start a production house, okay? We even had a recruitment agency, then go towards a college. I even talked to Daimondin, you know, I'm not sure you remember this, 15, 16 years ago, we were actually talking, I was actually quite interested in Tibet, okay? So all these are strategic diffusion. Don't do that. Stay focused on what you are doing, stay focused on what you are building. You can go off a little bit on the side with this and that, but don't go too far out, right? And one key thing I just want to make up down here, okay? One of the things I keep asking my team here is this: what is the core product we have? Is that core product, core area that we focus on, giving us at least 40 to 60% of our revenue? That is our cash cow. That is our golden nugget. Do not let that die and focus on something else. It is always more difficult to build something else, especially when you're talking new product in a new market. Okay? And with that, that's my 8 things I want to share with you. Please do come and see me a little bit, right? And I'm open for Q&A. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Give him a big round of applause, Alan Lee. Great. Yeah, Jeremy Lee. Okay, right, cool. So let's open the floor for maybe 2 questions to Mr. Jeremy. Anyone wants to ask any questions? Yes, can I have the mic there, please?
Good afternoon, Mr. Jeremy. Thank you very much. My name is Nazrin. You mentioned 7,000 training providers. I would believe that most of them are micro SMEs or one-person shows. Getting from here to where you are is a very big step and a very long way to get there. If you were to start your training provider today with the available technology, with the available knowledge that you still do have, how would you start it now?
Okay.
If it was 2026.
Okay. Great question. Okay. And this is how I'm training all my sales team who are new coming in at the moment. I tell them, now, It's very, very rare I got a salesperson coming in with no experience. Okay, so every single salesperson that I take in, right, is from some industry somewhere. So I always tell them, based on your industry, what do you know? What training do they do? So if you are a new TP, I will go back to the same thing. Do what you know first. Look at the industry, look at the type of training that you are familiar with, build that. That's the best place. When I started Aston in 2003, it was sort of a boom. The boom was contact center, customer experience, call center. We were one of the first few companies that came out and just concentrated on that. Even till today, customer experience contact center make up more than 50% of my revenue. Why? Because everyone in the market knows us for that. So that's where I will start. Build from there. Once you get that knowledge, that skill set, then move on to the rest. Because that's how you build. Okay? Don't go and become TP, jack of all trades. Anything also can. Okay? Right? Okay? Right?
Right. Hope that answers your question. Any other questions, please? Yeah, can I have one in front of you, please?
Over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice to see you here again. Just now, I like the things you mentioned, price by the outcome instead of by day rate.
Mhm.
Usually for the corporate buyers, they will just go for the whichever has the best bargain. So they'll attempt to price or they attempt to compare and against other proposal. So what are the strategies you use or the thinking framework that you use to counter that?
Okay. Normal lah. A client calls you up, hey, you got 2 days workshop on this, 1 day workshop on this. First thing you do, right? So they ask you for something. So what we do is we'll then go a step or two back. Okay? When we're a step or two back, right? We usually ask a very simple gap-related question. At the end of this workshop, what are you looking for? So why you want this workshop? What's the purpose of this workshop? What's the outcome you want to get? How do you measure it? That's why I showed the Kirkpatrick model. Okay? Then the next question we ask is, where are you now? What is your reality? For those of you who do coaching, this is like G and R. So that is what we are doing. We are not just going, oh, you want today's workshop? Ah? You want this, you want this, you want this? Okay, I'll send the online to you in the next 2 hours. Right? 1 hour if it's all AI related these days. Okay? So don't do that. Move back. Who are the real people attending this workshop? What do they really need? Where are they now? Right? What have you done previously? Okay? So you have done this and this previously with them. Why do you think it's still not working? So is it really a knowledge issue that they don't have? Is it a skill? They already know this, they just don't apply it. Or when they go back to the workplace, their bosses tell them, their superiors tell them, don't do it. Right? Or there are 10,000 reasons why I should not do it because I'm not motivated to do it, because there's no pain or no gain if I don't get it done. So what is it? By doing that, you are moving beyond just a training. You're moving to, let me help you execute this. And that's what we want to get done. Or come.
No more time.
No more time.
Okay. So once again, a round of applause for Mr. Jeremy Lee.